Hello, friends. Welcome back to Java and Joy. This is your place for coaching, laughter, cozy, warm coffee moments, and lots of joy. I am your host, Carla Joy. If you're new here, hello, welcome. This is going to be your big cup of motivation. I may be a little over caffeinated today. There's lots of it running through my veins, but can you ever really be too caffeinated? I say not. So grab your mug, grab your blanket, grab your lip gloss, whatever it is that makes you feel fabulous so that you can settle in and enjoy today's episode, which is going to be all about winter wins. Yes, we are celebrating tiny steps, baby goals, because every little thing is progress. And our brain loves to ignore little things, but our hearts desperately need to bring attention to them. And we'll get into why. So, around here, we believe in progress over perfection. You guys know that. And it's all going to tie into that. So, we are going to literally rewrite the story today of how we measure success. And I think it's going to change your perspective on all those goals that you're currently trying to tackle now that the new year is kicked off. And it's definitely going to help you get them completed in the long run and actually enjoy the path along the way and make it more likely for you to succeed and stick to your goals once you reach them. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we dive in, though, I want to mention if you haven't already grabbed it, I have a free goal tracker that you can download and use. It will help you strategize, plan, reflect on all those goals that you are trying to reach right now or ones that you are planning to start. It's completely free. You can grab it on my website, which is beautybycarlajoy.com, or you can go to my Instagram profile and it's right there at the top. Free guide. Click the link, it'll take you to there. And it's just a really easy, tangible item for you to use to have another tool in your toolbox to reach those goals this year. So go grab that if you haven't already. Okay. Let's start with our warm up as usual. Make sure you've got Java, got your coffee ready, or tea, or whatever beverage of choice you prefer. Make sure you got a nice comfy seat. If you are driving, then just try to be as relaxed as you can. Everybody release the tension, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaws, take deep breaths. Just enjoy this time that is just for you. And I will be caffeinating along the way, as usual. Okay, so let's share one joy moment of the week. And I always encourage you guys to share all these moments as well. So if you are drinking coffee right now, or you have the feeling to share your joy moment, I want you to take a selfie of it. And I want you to tag me in that post on Instagram at Beauty by Carla Joy. Okay, tag me in there. You can even put a hashtag Java and Joy in the comments if you'd like. And I'll be selecting people at random moving forward to give away things like Starbucks gift cards, gratitude journals, just all kinds of fun things. And I think it's going to bring you guys even more joy. But I love seeing you share your moments of joy and just your moments of having coffee and doing something for yourself, right? So share those photos, tag me, Beauty by Carla Joy. My joy moment of the last week, I'm going to go ahead and share. This was kind of a different one for me. It was watching the Stranger Things finale. I so thoroughly enjoyed the final season. I know so many of you did as well, and I know some of you really did not like the way it ended. I personally loved it. I'm not going to spoil anything here, FYI, but I thought that it just brought me joy. I felt really comforted watching it. The music was amazing. I mean, I'm an 80s girl, so anytime I can hear 80s music, the better. The better. So that was my joy moment within the last week. And I hope that you guys will share yours as well. So now we can dive in. Let's do this. Let's talk about winter wins. Let's start with why small wins matter. Okay, so this is going to be very simple because our brains are wired to want to chase big milestones, all the big wins, right? And we completely skip over the small ones. When you hit a huge goal, your brain like cheers. Am I right? I mean, you want to scream it from the top of the rooftops. You want to post it on all the social media. You want to tell everybody whatever big thing that you've done. You're proud, you're excited, you're like just jumping for joy when you hit big milestones. But what about when you just simply show up for yourself on a random Wednesday? It's crickets. Nothing lights up. No fireworks, no flares, no cartwheels, no jumping for joy. And that's where we mess up. Small wins are what fuel us to get us to the big wins. Without them, your motivation is going to probably fizzle. It's definitely going to be more difficult to drum up. But with them, momentum builds. So I want you to literally think about one tiny thing you did this week that deserves celebration. Did you drink enough water one day this week? Did you take a 10-minute walk? Did you choose peace over people pleasing? Did you send that email you've been avoiding? Congratulations. All of those are winter wins. They're small wins and they should be celebrated. They seem simple, but they're a big deal. So let's talk about what happens when you make a habit out of actually noticing all these tiny victories. First of all, you're going to start seeing yourself differently because you're going to start trusting yourself because you'll start to actually believe that you can reach all those really big goals, that they're actually possible. It's like every little win that you celebrate is a little boost in confidence, a boost in your mojo, for lack of a better word there. It's just going to just fuel that fire in you, that engine that needs to be fueled up to get you to the finish line. It'll not only make it easier to get there, but more sustainable when you get there as well. And you're actually going to enjoy the journey so much better. You don't have to struggle to make change. Not if you change your mindset. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Okay, so I'm going to tell you about one of my own winter wins. Little story time moment. The other day I woke up, I was super groggy. It was gray outside, cold, windy. I had no makeup on. My hair was nothing but winter frizz. I did not want to film content. I didn't want to speak to people, let alone film it. I didn't even want to drink coffee. Okay, that might be a little dramatic. I still wanted coffee, but I wasn't looking forward to it like I normally would. I just didn't feel productive. How many of you can relate to a morning like that where all you want to do is stay in your pajamas and curl up, maybe watch TV and just be left alone? And I will tell you, the old me would have beat myself up about this, just full of guilt, telling myself that this is not acceptable, I'm lazy, all the bad things. But instead, the new me chose to just do enough, to just show up, even when I didn't want to. So I brushed my hair, I put on a little lip gloss, and guess what? I filmed the video. Was it my best video? No. Did I look amazing? No. Not as put together as I would prefer, but I got the video done. It ended up performing very well. Even despite it not being my best work, it still worked. And I think it's because I didn't try to fake it or force it. I came through real, raw, with intention. I just came through as me as I was currently in that moment. I didn't try to be anything I wasn't. I just came and I filmed. And I even talked in my stories and on social media about how I felt blah that day. And, I probably wasn't going to do as much as I planned, but I still showed up. And you know what that does? It teaches me that even on my worst days, I can still show up for myself. And that builds confidence. The fact that I just did it anyway. So if you're waiting for that perfect mindset, the perfect schedule, the perfect morning, that perfect week, perfect time, whatever, listen up. It ain't going to happen. Instead of worried about the perfect everything, worry about progress. Progress over perfection. Let me repeat that. If you're waiting for the perfect schedule, the perfect time, the perfect everything, stop. Start now, do it anyway, and worry about progress over perfection. That's what's going to get you to the finish lines. Friends, I'm telling you, it works. So let's take my winter win and kind of break this down into a framework that you can use to get you to your goals, to get you learning to celebrate your micro wins, your micro movements. Okay, so we're going to start recognizing progress and we're going to start ditching perfection. So first we're going to just say we're going to notice micro movements, micro progress. Even if the needle moves 1 inch, it still counts. You are further than you were. 1 is always more than 0. I say this a lot to myself as a runner. There's days I get up and I'm like, I don't want to run 5 miles. So I tell myself, well, let's just go run 1. 1 is more than 0. And let me tell you, I'm pretty sure at least 9 out of 10 times, or maybe every time, I end up running the 5 miles, or at least doing more than the 1. Sometimes you just got to get started. You got to stop focusing on the big chunk that's overwhelming, that scares you, that seems like a lot, and just chunk it down into smaller things that don't overwhelm you. Because that's still a huge win. Running a mile is more than sitting on my couch for the 10, 11, 12 minutes or whatever it was it took me to run that mile. Right? So that's what I mean by celebrating micro movements. Even if it's 1 inch, it still counts. So not only we're just going to recognize these movements, but we're going to say them out loud. We're going to name those wins. We're going to vocalize them. We're going to acknowledge them just like we would if it was a bigger win. So if you just say, I showed up today, or I drank enough water today, I chose rest today. Tell somebody, say it out loud, put it on your social media, tell your husband, your coworkers, your friend. Tell the mailman. Doesn't matter. Share your wins. All of them. Small, medium, or large. It just doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, those little ones add up so fast. And think about how much more like complete and productive you're going to feel every day if you recognize at least one thing you did good that day instead of focusing on what you didn't do that day or how you're still so far away from your goal. Don't dwell on the negative. Don't dwell on a month from now. Instead, celebrate where you are right now. Be present. And by doing this, we are going to nurture momentum, not perfection, momentum. So every time you take these small steps and you actually celebrate them and acknowledge them and vocalize them, your brain's going to build confidence. It's going to start building consistency. This is going to become a habit like anything else. And consistency builds results. It's awesome. Something that simple as celebrating that you drank enough water today can lead you to such amazing things. So are you seeing how it kind of all stacks? So this is why celebrating small wins isn't fluffy, it isn't silly, it is strategy. It's neuroscience. It's emotional self-care. And honestly, it's joy. Every time you celebrate a small win, you're celebrating joy in your life. You're recognizing joy in your life. And that's going to be infectious and contagious, not just to everyone else, which it is, because you're going to be celebrating all these small things, which is then going to teach them to celebrate small things, but it's going to be contagious to yourself. You're going to just start to actually notice that you're celebrating joy and you're going to want to keep celebrating it every single day. So that's your framework, is to start noticing the micro movements, name them out loud, and then nurture that momentum. Keep doing it consistently, consistently, and consistently. It's an easy framework. It costs you nothing. It takes very little time to do. It's worth it. So use that framework. So now I want to actually share a few winter wins that came from some of my coaching clients that they shared with me. I asked, you delivered. Thank you. If you're listening right now, maybe screenshot this episode, share your win, tag me on social media. I love spotlighting you guys. Love to put you in my stories and share your wins with the world, just like you already are. And this way, even more people can see your accomplishments and share in your joy. So here are a few of my favorites that came from my clients. Sarah, and I'm not going to say any last names for privacy, but Sarah, she finally decided to go get a long overdue mammogram. Now, I won't go into too much detail, but just know that she had a real fear and worry and some anxiety and stress over having this done. And she's been putting it off for a very long time. And she finally got the courage and finally said, I'm going to do it anyway. And she did. And she shared with me that this was a huge weight off of her back. And I will say her results were perfect. Congrats, Sarah. But just think of that release of pressure that she experienced. And this is not like this was some huge goal that she was working towards that took a bunch of steps. This was just a small thing that can have a huge impact in the long run. But the fact that she celebrated this and decided to do it anyway, whether she was scared or not, is a huge step. That is a win. That was her winter win. And she set up the rest of her year for so many more great things by just checking that one little box off the to-do list. Every little check mark, guys, equals a win. I love checking off to-do lists. Is anybody else that way? Just the little check mark feels so good. Or like drawing a line through it when it's done. It feels good. Those are small wins. Celebrate them. Don't just put the line through it. Don't just put the check mark. Say it out loud. Share it with someone vocally. Post it on your social media if you need to. I think you should. Because, like I said, the more you share, the more you're inspiring others to recognize their small wins too. So that was Sarah's. The next one was Janet. Janet took a 20-minute walk every single day last week. I love that consistency. I would be celebrating this even if she did it one day. So let me just say that. The fact that she did that and it's not something that she normally does, it's not something she really looks forward to doing or wanted to do, but she showed up and she did it anyway. In that 20-minute walk every day, she told me that her mind felt clearer. She already noticed a little bit of a increase in her energy overall in the days. And it just got her a mental break from her daily routine. It was like an environmental change for her, which helped her kind of hit like a reset button by doing it. So that's huge. That's like a bunch of little wins. It's not even just one. There's so many wins in that. So many wins, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally. She's winning all around. And she did it consistently, which means as she keeps doing that, it's going to get better and better and better. And she's going to feel better and better. Amazing job, Janet. Good job. The last one is Maria. She told me that she spoke kindly to herself when she was having a rough day. Yes, girl. I love that. Instead of telling herself that she should be doing this or that she's lazy, she spoke kindly to herself. And she said, I'm going to show myself grace today and I'm going to do a little less. And she did. And the feeling she told me she got from that was that it made her feel like she had her power back, like she was in control of her day, and that she was able to stop punishing herself for things that shouldn't be punished. Especially as women, ladies, sometimes we get tired. We have hormonal changes. We have all the world on our plates, and sometimes we need to rest. I'm not saying you want to rest or you feel like you need to rest or should rest. You actually need it. Now, am I saying you should be a couch potato every day? No. But sometimes you truly need to take a day for yourself. And that's what Maria did. And it gave her confidence to start listening and honoring herself and putting herself first here and there. You don't have to do it all the time. You shouldn't always put yourself first. But at the end of the day, if you don't put yourself first ever, you are not going to be a very good version of yourself in order to be there for everyone else. So I'm very proud of Maria for speaking kindly to herself. Congrats, Maria. Do you see, ladies, how all these moments matter? They all build towards your next season, to a better you. All these winter wins that we're going to be celebrating are going to become your spring blossoms. It's like you're laying the groundwork right now, the foundation to greatness to come. Write it down. Your winter wins are going to become your spring blossoms. Okay? Do you see how impactful these tiny little wins can be? None of these were examples of huge goals, huge milestones, but they were all so impactful. And I'm so glad you ladies shared with me and with allowed me to share this with the community as well, because sometimes we all need to hear different examples because we're not sure where we find our joy or what we should be celebrating. So I hope that those examples kind of gave you guys a better idea and some clarity of how you can be celebrating your winter wins too. So let's shift gears slightly and talk about some daily joy habits, because while the small wins are cute and we love them, joy is going to make them sustainable. Okay. So, kind of like a way of rewarding those small wins. Instead of just vocalizing them, we also have to celebrate them in a way that motivates us and kind of treats us in a way like a reward. It's a reward system. And daily joy habits are your reward system. So, some examples of how you can do some of these morning joy rituals, or any day of the week, I should say, or time of the day. You could do a 60-second morning ritual, which could consist of uh, deep breathing, splashing cold water on your face, drinking a cup of coffee, going for a walk, doing a gratitude journal, Bible study, like reading one devotion. 60 seconds is nothing. You can get up 1 minute early to add a joy ritual into your day. And I'm telling you right now that how you start your day sets the tone. So start it with something positive, with joy. And then set yourself, some kind of like a daily goal that only takes 5 minutes. And again, that could be listening to your favorite song, standing in the sunshine for 5 minutes, taking your shoes off and standing barefoot in the grass for 5 minutes. All of these are like mini self-care moments that you can incorporate into your day and are going to really have an impact on your well-being. Create a joy playlist, by the way, is a really good idea. And when I say playlist, it doesn't have to be music, but I do recommend that you write that down too. Make a list of your favorite songs, make a list of some of the things that I just listed to you, so that when you have your 5 minutes, you're not like, well, what should I do? You should already have that go-to list of like, okay, here's my 5 minutes today. What do I want to, use it for? And I will tell you, I do have a free 100+ self-care activities guide that you can get on my website. Free. 100+. And it's actually broken down by time for you. So if you only have 5 minutes, there's a whole list. If you have 15 minutes, there's a whole list, and so on. So I recommend getting that guide. And all my links are always in my show notes, on YouTube, podcasts, or you can just go to beautybycarlajoy.com. You can find everything there. But if you're struggling to figure out how do I insert moments of self-care or joy into my day, use that guide. It's fail safe for you. You don't even have to do the thinking. I did the thinking for you. And recognize that joy isn't always a bubble bath. It's not always just turning the notifications off on your phone. Sometimes it's not the second cup of coffee, although a lot of times it is for me. But the real joy comes when you rewrite the rules of what success looks like in a day. When you start to say, success in a day is 5 minutes of joy, celebrating my small wins, that is where you're going to find your joy. That's where you're really going to make a change in your life, and your days are going to feel different. There's going to be more pep in your step. You're going to just have a different perspective than you used to by doing these things on a daily basis. And like I said, consistency always wins. So let's do a little winter win check-in as part of our wrap up today. I'm going to reflect. I want you to think about, what are the big 26 goals that you have? Like the ones that feel really far away, the ones that we're going to take some time and some work to get. You got them? Now I want you to picture one small win that moves you 1% closer to that goal. One step, one choice. Do that every day. And before you know it, you've hit your goal and you've celebrated every little win along the way. Every day you've celebrated things. Doesn't that sound like so much more fun to work toward that goal when you know you're going to be having joy and celebrating every single day? Not suffering for the next 90 days, 120 days, whatever it is, this goal that you've set up, where it's going to be like a grind. It shouldn't be a grind. It doesn't need to be a grind. You can still reach your goals and enjoy the path. And the way you do that is by inserting the joy and celebrating little wins. And if you haven't picked a word of the year, really recommend that you do. Sometimes a word of the year is more impactful than an actual goal. How do you want this year to feel? I will tell you that I was going to choose joy, but we all know joy is going to be at the focus of my world the entire year because it's what I do. It's what I coach. It's what my show's about. So I decided to choose the word live. Live spoke to me because last year, all the health things I went through, all the losses, it was tough. And it just kind of felt like I was surviving. I was still finding joy, but was I living? I don't feel like I was. We didn't go on one single vacation last year. We didn't really celebrate anything fun. I don't feel like I was celebrating my little wins last year. I don't. I felt like I was in survival mode last year. And this year I want to live every single day. That's the word that I'm focusing on now. Live. And live can mean a million different things to people, right? But for me, it's doing more things that I love, showing what I'm doing more to others that the things that I love to help them also live life more fully. But I want to live more full. I want to live more brave. I want to live with even more joy. I want to live, not just survive, not just be here, just rolling with the punches. I want to intentionally live and create more joy in my life this year. So I encourage you to choose a word. It's it can be very, very, very powerful. Sound good? All right. Thank you for spending this time with me today. My mug is almost empty, but my heart is full. And I hope that your spirits and your hearts feel lighter having listened to this. And please remember that your winter wins matter, your small steps matter, you matter. And when you choose progress over perfection, you rewrite your story. So let's take one last sip of our Java. We're going to call this a sip and shift of our mindset and get ready to take on the rest of our day. And if you love this episode, please share it with a friend who also needs to learn to celebrate all those winter wins, all the small wins. And as always, come hang out with me. Social media, you can find me everywhere at Beauty by Carla Joy. And if you have a topic that you would like me to cover at any time, please let me know. If you have a story you'd like to share, I love for you to share that as well. And if you are ready to take your joy journeys to another level, if you're needing accountability, coaching, support, beautybycarlajoy.com/coach. All my links are everywhere. And make sure that you guys are on my free newsletter. We are doing all kinds of fun giveaways and goodies, and new coaching packages are coming. So make sure that you are signed up for my newsletter. It's completely free. And if you are listening on podcast or YouTube, check the show notes for everything. If you are on the radio listening to this, beautybycarlajoy.com is your place to find it all. All the goodies are there. All right. All right, guys. Well, until next time, remember progress, not perfection. And as always, go find your joy. I'll see you next time.